All right, man. Grand Rising to everybody. Shout out to everybody catching the playback game. I am the Black Horseman. Shout out to the UGC and the True Media Movement. That's everybody that keeps it real, stays true to who they are, and does their part to contribute to this media. So, the news is out. Errol Spence activates his rematch clause. And, I want to talk about something first before I give my reaction to the rematch. Immediately after Crawford defeated Spence, he said something to him. Crawford was like, you're a hell of a fighter. I ain't got to tell you that. And, Spence, of course he was beat up pretty bad. He was kind of, speech was kind of slurred. He took a pretty bad beating. But he said, we made history. And I don't know if that went over a lot of people's head or whatever, but I understood what he was talking about. He made history in the sense that, these two brothers, these Black Americans came together. They had to kind of distance themselves from their primary promoters. Crawford had to leave Top Rank, came over to a different across the street, as Spence would say, and then Spence literally had to go against the grain because a lot of us know that PBC wasn't the big plan. They was trying to push the Keith fight on him. And so they came together, they made history. And when we think about the former face of boxing, Floyd Mayweather, yeah, he did some historical things, but he made history with other people. He made history with Manny Pacquiao, Filipino. He made history with Conor McGregor. Where is he from? Irish guy, and De La Hoya. All his mega fights was with other people. But Crawford and Spence, two brothers, came together and they made history. It was a sensational event. You know, it didn't crack a million buys or nothing like that, but still, they did make history. And when they actually fought, it meant a lot more than what Floyd fighting De La Hoya or Floyd fighting Pacquiao or Floyd fighting Conor McGregor. That wasn't for undisputed. It wasn't like, what I mean? So it meant a whole lot more. So I respect and I salute Crawford and Spence for coming together, putting their egos to the side, and just making a monumental event for the boxing fans, giving us a fight that we wanted to see. So, flame of fame to these gentlemen for that. Now, the rematch, my reaction. Now, I've been doing a few videos this week. Yesterday, I talked about Katie Taylor activating her rematch with Chantel Cameron, and I was just talking about the rematch period, how certain fighters, they may lose, and, they may be at the top. They'll lose, and they'll activate the immediate rematch. And, of course, it'd be a huge risk because when you lose back-to-back, it kind of puts your career at a kind of standstill or kind of a question mark. Like, man, is he done? This dude lost back to back. We seen Wilder lose back to back. We seen Anthony Joshua lose back to back. And we've seen many fighters where they just wasn't able to win the rematch. That opponent just had their number. And I think that this might be the case. A lot of people were talking about trilogy before the first fight, but the way Crawford beat Errol Spence, that kind of fizzled down. Like, people like, I don't know about that rematch. And now he activates the rematch. So I'm just really looking at it like, okay, can he even be competitive in the second fight? Of course, I want this man to get another big payday. I think that Errol Spence has done a lot for the welterweight division. He did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to take care of his side of the street, and he was going to try to take Crawford's belt. He came up short, and that's okay, but at least he kept his word. And Spence has a lot of heart. I've had I flamed the guy in the past and things like that, but it wasn't because I hated the dude. It was because I knew that he was doing some things that was going to that he was going to have to pay for once he got in there with somebody who was 100% dedicated, like Bud Crawford. And we seen what happened when he got in there with Bud. You know, all the stuff that he did, it caught up to him. I feel it caught up to him. All the partying, blowing up in weight in between, fights and things like that. It just caught up to him. And Earl took a really bad whooping in that first fight. And you know, I just think about his kids, his lady, his situation, and I know that there's a lot of egos and a lot of people were embarrassed when he lost. You know, yeah, he was embarrassed, but more so, you had all of the fanatics of Errol Spence that got humiliated as well because they put out all of these bogus predictions, and they were talking about, made it seem like Crawford had no chance of beating Errol Spence because he's a smaller guy and he's not defensively responsible. When he get hit, he goes into dog mode, and that could be dangerous, and Spence gonna hurt him, and it's just we just didn't see that. It was just the reverse. Crawford just dominated. So like Spence gained me as a fan, or I've always been somewhat of a fan of Spence, but he really gained my respect, after the fight. He didn't bitch and complain like all his fan fanatics is doing, these little sissy ass Spence fans, because they just use him. I talked about this before. They just use Spence because of his name and the attraction and the monetary value that come with promoting Spence. But Spence didn't complain. He came to the press conference. He didn't try to hide his wounds or nothing like that. Took his ass whooping like a G. But if y'all really say you a real supporter of Errol Spence, do you want to see him get hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you enjoy seeing that? I didn't enjoy seeing that. I didn't too much care for Deontay Wilder that much, but I didn't enjoy seeing when he got his ass whooped by Fury. It was a strange, feeling watching that. Like, damn, man, this shit is horrible. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't like seeing this. Like, I want to see competitive fights, but I don't want to see somebody get their whole health, compromised over a fight, man, or for a payday. And I really think Errol Spence is about his bag. I talked about this before. He missed out on some big opportunities to get big paydays. The Pacquiao was supposed to be the real big one for him, and he had an unfortunate injury in training camp. Had a detached retina, and so that was really his only big option was the Crawford fight for him to get the big payday because it was a hot fight. Um, he'll get another bag if he rematches Crawford, but I just don't think he'll win it. I don't see nothing in Errol Spence's style, nor do I see anything from his trainer that can create a different result in the rematch. That's my opinion on it, man. I wish Errol Spence nothing but the best. I don't want to see the guy get blazed again because he got thoroughly blazed in the first fight. I didn't enjoy seeing that. Um, even though I had already picked Crawford to win by stoppage, but I didn't enjoy seeing him get beat up like that. Nobody really expected him to get whooped like that, but he did, and I don't want to see that again. But because he's exercising the rematch, we're going to be forced to watch it again. You know, I want the guy to get his pay. I'm going to support the event again, but I just hope after this fight that this guy, if he gets beat again, hopefully he hangs it up, man. Because I'm really deeply concerned about Errol Spence's health and him being healthy enough to be the dad that he needs to be the man, future husband that he needs to be, so on and so forth, man. So that's my thoughts on it, man. I don't want to flame the guy. Um, like I said, I don't think Derrick James can cook up a good enough game plan for them to defeat Bud Crawford because Bud Crawford is just a special fighter. Errol is a good fighter. Bud is just special. So that's my reaction to it is that, I don't think it's a great idea, but I know he has a lot of heart and I know that he about his bag. But, y'all leave y'all thoughts below on this rematch. I'm the Black Horseman and As we get closer to this event, I'll do another video. I'm out.